First things first, welcome to Monetize Office Hours. Every third Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, you're going to get some people from Rebuy, some people from Fluent here to tell you everything you need to know about our Rebuy Monetize product. So let me start with the Rebuy crew. That's me. I'm Sarah. I run our events and community. And also Sam. Sam, introduce yourself to our friends here. Some of them may actually know you already from some demos.
Maybe I've been around. Yeah, Sam Gates, work here with sales with Rebuy. I got tagged in to kind of help with the monetize launch to make it a little bit more fluid, and help do some internal coordination and get it in front of our partners. So it's been a blast. Been really liking working with Alberto. He's been keeping me grounded. We've been talking a lot about Albania, and it's been a blast. So.
Alberto is one of our favorite people on this planet. He is a wealth of knowledge about this product, about Fluent. Alberto, tell us all about Albania.
Yeah, so this is funny. I'm not from Albania. I took a holiday recently, went to was able to get my mother and my aunt to help with the kiddos here at home. So my wife and I went to Greece. We spent a lot of time in Albania as well, which was phenomenal. Yeah, so I would love to talk about Albania, but I'm not from there. I'm just a tourist. But it was I think it's a hidden gem that is blowing up. So if people get the chance to go, I would say go quickly before it gets unfortunately likely
Instagrammed,
Mhm.
influencerized.
exploded.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that always happens to good stuff, right?
It does. On the work side, yeah, I am a senior director of channel partnerships here at Fluent. So I've been very, very close with the Rebuy team, and obviously with the Fluent team. I think of me, obviously as the bridge between the companies. And yeah, like I said before, it's been a pleasure. Obviously, I've been at Fluent for a while. It's actually, well, I guess not that long, but I've been at Fluent for a year. I've been in the space for quite some time. I've been an advertiser on the Fluent network. I've been a merchant partner. So I've worn a lot of different hats, and then I joined Fluent just as part of the company a year ago, and it's been great. And I think the this Rebuy partnership is my favorite part about it, just because it's we're able to help a lot of merchants, which is always fun.
So I'm going to start with you there then. Tell us about Fluent. What is Fluent? What is this monetize thing that we're talking about? And why is the Rebuy monetize so special and new?
Yeah. So Fluent is a performance marketing company. At our core, that's what we do. We've been around for 15 years, in a lot of different capacities, right? So it's not always been this monetized post-transaction thank you page commerce media function. We run owned and operated. We run rewarded traffic. We've done a lot of different things in the performance marketing world. Um, at the core of all of that is obviously data. So we have our proprietary identity graph that is really the secret sauce, if you will. It helps us match customers, match new users with our first party data pool, which is massive, to really serve personalized offers, right? Whether that's in our owned and operated or other sides of the business, or with Rebuy Monetize. So yeah, what is Rebuy Monetize? What is this commerce media that I speak of? Um, it is working with merchants, right? Retailers who obviously whose core function is to sell their product and grow their brand. It's giving them an easy way to plug in and run third-party offers, essentially monetize their existing traffic in post-purchase scenarios, right? So it doesn't affect the order flow. It doesn't affect the core mission, which is again getting a customer to learn about their brand, to purchase their product. Afterwards, we help them easily just plug into our solution and target high quality personalized offers to make money off of. So monetize, yeah.
Monetize. It's the best name because that's what it does. It monetizes your thank you page, your post-purchase page, right?
Yeah.
Sam, what are you seeing on the monetize side when you talk about this with our Rebuy customers? I mean, clearly there's a lot of interest here, but what's like the top question that people are having when you bring it to the room?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we get a lot is like brand alignment, right? Like making sure that we're doing right and Fluent is doing right by our merchants and making sure that the offers that we're showing are both in line with what our merchants expect and in line with what their customers expect, which is the most important, I think, at the end of the day, right? And like what I love about this relationship and how it's been kind of like nurtured, especially during the beta phase and like moving into launching and getting myself and Alberto and Logan and everybody on the team spun up into this, is that James and John, the founders of Rebuy, were very, very diligent, like upfront and saying like, look, Fluent, you guys have this list of like a billion really, really great merchants. We're going to trim that down to like 60, right? We're going to really call that list to make sure that the merchants that do get offers from your partners are like getting offers that are relevant, applicable, non-competing, useful for the end user, right? Like the customer at the end of the day, and get clicked on and get actioned, right? And I think that's kind of like the end goal of all of this, which drives the monetization, drives the revenue, but also like gives the customer an experience that they actually care about, right? I think about this so much in my personal life. It's like I we all get served offers all the time from all around the internet. Doesn't matter where you're at. And every time that I go and like buy socks or buy shoes or buy clothes, if I get served like an offer that is actually applicable to what I care about, then I'm more likely to go back to the brand that I was shopping at originally.
100%.
Because like,
100%. That's what I'm
oh,
thinking like this. Like that's the best part of personalization on the web, I think, is that they know what I'm looking for. They know what I want. They know what I'm already ordering. There's a complimentary option there. I think all consumers are looking for ways to maximize like what they're seeing and what they're clicking on. And if it's relevant, I mean, that's not a fluke. That's someone on the back end, someone at Fluent's team, whatever, helping people source exactly what ads are going to show up for people so that it's relevant to their purchasing experience.
100%. And so you're telling me that like somebody at like Fresh Clean Threads cares enough about me to know exactly what my like offer profile is? No, it's like an algorithm. But in the reality of it is like that helps drive legitimization of our merchants' brands. It helps drive
Mm.
like the actualization on our brands to say like, okay, we have this additional revenue to put into marketing, to into like advertising on our end, into growing our team, into like making sure that we have the best product on the market, and it's just it's cool to see. So
So that's one question we're going to answer on this. If you have other questions too, if you're watching this and you've got questions, use the chat or use Q&A. We've got a list of questions that we are asked all the time. So we'll get to those first, but absolutely ask us your questions. If we don't get to it now, we can always follow up with you over email too. Number one question is, can we control what ads are shown? Alberto, take a stab at this one.
Yeah, I would say if you want a short answer, the answer is typically no, right? The reason why, as Sam mentioned, right, we already worked pretty thoroughly in conjunction, the Fluent team, the Rebuy team, to sanitize the entire list of advertisers, the entire network, to make sure, number one, obviously, there are no competing products, right? So like obviously if you're a jewelry merchant, you don't want your customers to see a jewelry box, right? Or if you're a jewelry subscription box. If you're obviously an apparel brand, you don't want to see other apparel brands advertising in that space. So that's a non-issue. We've gone very thoroughly to make sure that doesn't happen. Secondly, anything controversial, right? Even if it's not competing, right? Like I don't know, risky ads, if you will, are like we've gone over the top to make sure that like sports betting, anything like that is just does not exist. Um, and then ultimately, really, we have a very very high degree of trust, and like our core, one of our core values is our identity graph. It's our machine learning algorithm. So really, our philosophy is let your customer decide rather than you as a merchant handpicking, saying, oh, I don't think my customers are going to like this. I don't think my customers are going to like that offer. Number one, that's going to impact your revenue probably significantly. But number two, like our machine learning algorithm already does that, right? Once it realizes from your specific merchant URL, right, that like the traffic is not interacting with this offer or that offer or the other offer, it'll naturally just start to suppress those offers. it'll focus on the offers that it sees the most traction with. So um, our challenge is really just let your customer decide. Um, we have a very sophisticated MLA model that helps personalize and a ton of data to back that. Let's let the customer decide. It'll if you know if those offers truly aren't a right fit for your user base, they won't be shown.
Yeah, that's so smart. I love AI. It does so many things for us. We should be so
Help.
grateful.
It helps. It helps. Yeah.
Sam, on your side of things, I know this is a big question that you get a lot from people. How does it interrupt the order flow? Right? That's the number one thing that we don't want to do is get people out of that purchase flow. So how does Monetize show up in that system?
Yeah, so there's a couple of places where it makes a lot of sense to have this just based on both historical data and using logic, using your brain, you know what I mean? As a typicality, we see the widget in two spots, right? The thank you page and then the order status page. As your customer's going through, they check out, they pay the bill, they get the confirmation on the thank you for ordering page, and it's right there, like at the top. It says like, hey, also, if you want to go check out Hulu, here's an offer for 15% off or whatever, right? And so I think that's one part of the flow. And then something that is really neat and that we see an even greater return on is when customers go back to check the tracking status or like check the status of their order, which happens on average, depending on who you are, like five, if it's me, 15 times every time, 20 times every time I put in an order. Um, because I'm neurotic. That's where we'll also put an offer there, and give folks an opportunity to check that, and that's dynamic, right? Like every time they hit that, they see something different and applicable based on the flavor of their mood, right? And so, we've seen uh, some merchants that have had it on the thank you page, some that have accidentally left it off of the order status page. And when it's activated on the order status page, we see that revenue like 3, 4, 5x, right? So those are kind of like the two general places. Alberto, am I missing anything?
No, no, I would say just to clarify, the on like a per session basis, the thank you page is much more valuable. But to your point, the order status page, because it can, for some merchants, it can get checked quite a bit. It's a very important placement as well.
It gets checked quite a bit. I'm that person who places an order and then immediately gets an email that my order's been placed, and immediately, I don't know why. I don't know why our brains are immediately trying to track things that we know are not here yet. They're not ready for us, but that's what we do as people. We just refresh, refresh. I'm glad that
Another
we clarified that too. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead,
No, no, I was
Alberto.
just gonna say on the another question we get, which obviously Fluent, outside of the Rebuy partnership, we do direct integrations with very large enterprise partners. Something I found was unique, because of Rebuy's core product were post-purchase offers, right? So we have gotten a few questions because post-purchase offers are very, very valuable for your merchants. Um, this does not impact your post-purchase offer flow, right? If you have upsells, downsells that happen right after checkout, those very valuable post-purchase offers that a lot of your merchants use, the thank you page loads after that. So to your point, Sam, this doesn't impact the order flow, right? Even if you're running post-purchase offers, this is after any of that. So really there is no impact to conversion rate at all.
That's what I was going to bring up before. That is my pet peeve about stuff is when you are blocked from placing your order for all of the upsells. And it is just like standing in my way. It makes me less and less interested in getting anything else from you. So this idea that it's like it does not interrupt that flow whatsoever. It's just maximizing real estate of your thank you page, your order status page is brilliant. So you mentioned a little bit, you mentioned one of our amazing customers, Fresh Clean Threads is incredible. They're doing great on this. What are some other brands that we've seen, maybe on the Fluent side, Alberto, that are like having a lot of success that maybe we wouldn't expect that brand to be using a system like this?
Well, there are, it's just think of anybody who has a transaction moment, right? So obviously on the enterprise side, Fanatics and their their entire family of websites is a huge partner. Bath and Body Works, Vivid Seats, right? So Vivid Seats, you wouldn't really find Vivid Seats on, you wouldn't think of them like especially in your context where Shopify is
Right.
overwhelming retail, but somebody purchases tickets to a football game, to a concert. Hey, congratulations! You just bought tickets to, I don't know, the New York Giants. Here's a targeted offer for ABC. So those are partners that obviously we work very, very closely with. They do massive volume. That there's a lot of customizations, especially with direct integrations with them. But I think on the that's on the enterprise side. On the Rebuy side, we see new partners sign up daily. I would say it's rare to not see a new partner almost per day at this point, which is great. It shows the need. I don't want to say the need, but the value that this provides.
Yeah, the value and the interest and the fact that it is a really standard piece of the consumer journey. People aren't going to be weirded out by it or surprised by it. And again, it gets back to that original point about personalization, is that these are
100%.
relevant,
Yeah.
relevant offers that are in front of your customers. Sam, are you seeing people hesitate thinking that this is like a big, heavy code lift that they're going to have to like set aside time for on their team or downtime for their website? Is that something that people are concerned with?
Luckily, thanks to a lot of work by the Rebuy and Fluent marketing team, and a lot of work by Logan on our team, and everybody, like, no, because it's not right. So the really like beneficial thing about that is like, we'll just do it for you, frankly, like as long as we can get folks to accept the terms. It takes us 2 seconds to activate it on our side. And then from like the Shopify admin panel, I can do it, and I am the least expert person on the planet. And so I mean, if you can log into your Shopify store, you can probably add a widget. And if you can add a widget, then you can put where you want it. So yeah, that's another really huge benefit is that it's a low lift. And I literally checked the stats right before this call, and I think we have 89 current active merchants on the platform, and we started with ostensibly zero a few months ago. So it's been a busy couple of months, and we've seen that adoption is pretty cut and dry and pretty easy, thankfully. So
Yeah.
Okay, another question. Man, we got a lot of questions. I'm glad that we're doing this monthly because we're either going to be repeating ourselves constantly or getting to a new question every single time. What does it cost? That's the big question on people's heads. There's no way that this is free money, right? It's not 1999. So what exactly is the investment that's being made, and then what's the recoupment on that?
Yeah, this is you mind if I take this,
Yeah,
Sam?
go.
no,
Yeah.
hit
No, I
it.
mean, look, this is a revenue driver, right? And I remember so the short answer is the cost is really nothing, right? The cost is nothing. Why is it nothing? This is where obviously, like, we don't want to. It's not too good to be true. It's simple, right? It's an ad network. It's an offer network. When John and James at in San Diego at the Momentum event, when this was announced, that they framed it really well. They said, you use Google, you use Amazon, you use Facebook. You don't think of them as ad platforms, but they survive. They make a lot of money on ads, right? So obviously, maybe sometimes Facebook does show way too many ads. That's not what we're trying. That's not our approach. But it's an offer network, right? So this is supposed to be a revenue driver. It's supposed to fuel your merchant's core mission, which, whether it's um, you know, increasing brand awareness, developing new products, whatever that is, right? This is a revenue driver. So there is no cost. Obviously, right, it's as a platform, as a provider, like we also, like, the more impressions, the more distribution these offers get, the more money everybody makes. So yeah, it's a win-win-win.
So how quickly after we install this am I gonna start seeing my millions from Monetize? Is there a
Are
delay
you
there?
you as a merchant, or
I just,
you as
maybe if I
Sarah?
like set up an e-commerce store, if I had an idea overnight, I'm just saying, you gotta
Yeah.
diversify in this economy.
Yes.
Oh,
Go ahead, Sam.
oh, I was just gonna say, how often are you getting orders? You know what I mean? Like the great thing
Mm,
about this is that it's turned on when the widget's is active, when you hit save in your Shopify account, it's live, right? Like there's no sort of delay or anything like that. So the second that that gets installed, people see it, and then the second that people start interacting, that revenue gets in there. We pay out net 60, right? So you might have to wait a couple of months to buy your yacht, but it takes
end of
time to do
year. It's perfect
financing and like,
timing.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of paperwork, right? So yeah, no, it's really cool in that regard, and we're currently working with our product team to make sure that reporting is really robust on the merchant side, that merchants are able to see like exactly what their upcoming payouts are, what when that payout date is, why they're getting that amount of money, and from like what customer segments and stuff like that. Because I think that
Yeah.
the more data that we can empower merchants with, the easier that like everything else becomes from a marketing standpoint. So
That leads into my next question from the audience. Can this be A/B tested? Like, let's say I want to try it, but I'm a little afraid and I want to see if it actually works. Is it possible to just turn it on for some orders or some types of customers?
No, not yet.
No,
Not
not
yet.
yet.
Remember,
That's the key.
we
That's
have,
the answer is
yeah,
not
and
yet.
we
Yeah.
have, right. We obviously wanted to go to market. There was clear demand for this from your merchant audience, so we wanted to go to market fast. Um, so short answer is not yet. That'll be a broader question for the product team. I think, it's if there's requests for it, I'm sure it can be built. So it's a matter of when. But yeah,
Yeah.
not yet,
I
unfortunately.
feel like that's something that is one of those like no-brainers, but then on the back end of it is like, we actually have to put our brain into something like this to make sure
Yeah,
that it
and
rolls out seamlessly.
yeah, and one thing I'll say, right, and this obviously is not a true A/B test. You can always, it's very easy to toggle on and off.
I was just
For
gonna bring
whatever
that
reason,
up too.
if you
If
have,
you want to experiment. Yeah.
yeah, if you have a big sale on a weekend and you want to like add this on because you're going to see a big influx of traffic that weekend, obviously it's doable. The last thing I'll say to your point, because this is a question that we get often from merchants, right? How is this going to impact my brand? Could this potentially, you know, reduce my NPS score, my satisfaction score, like my churn rate? Going back to our, our big business, our enterprise business, you can imagine for a partner like Bath and Body Works, right? If their NPS score drops a fraction, right? Or if their returning customer rate drops a fraction, that's a lot of money. Um, so we work in tangent with our direct partners, with the enterprise partners, where there is, there's probably a little more um, information sharing directly with that merchant to make sure there are A/B tests, there are feedback loops to make sure there is absolutely no impact from a customer satisfaction, from a customer retention point of view, and there isn't, right? There isn't. So um, I think from an A/B test, everybody's, you want to test it yourself, but our data, and I'm talking, we process over 150 million transactions in our entire network a year. We've seen no risk from like a customer satisfaction, a customer return rate from everything that we've measured and all the research that we've done. So we have done A/B testing thoroughly with enterprise merchants. I just obviously it's not out of the box with this solution yet.
Yeah. I mean, I think that we are inching into the time on the calendar when this is the best time to experiment with anything on your cart,
Yeah.
right? Anything that you're doing on your site to increase order values or maybe loop them in with post-purchase stuff. BFCM is like people are starting already. It's like not even September and people are already making plans for what they're going to do. It's a perfect time because it's so easy to install. You are almost guaranteed income from it, right? Or revenue, I should say. And people are looking for deals. That's the thing that I think is like Monetize is in like the perfect sweet spot right now of like what's going on economically is that people are looking for deals. They are looking for relevant, sourced, like interesting deals. So I don't think that I understand very much like the merchant side of things, like being afraid of cheapening your experience. But that only happens when you're using things like I said before, where you're actually stopping someone from making a purchase or you're annoying them or adding friction to the purchase process, where that's not what this is doing.
Yeah.
Okay, go
So
ahead. I've got time for one more question, Alberto, but finish what you're gonna say first.
oh my goodness, sorry, a very quick one. The to your point about deals, right? Like this is your thank you page. You as a merchant, right?
Right.
This is an offer that is embedded in your thank you page for your users who just made a purchase. That is very valuable real estate. And we have our advertiser network that, like Sam mentioned, you know, call it the Hulus of the world, the you know, HelloFresh, Farmer's Dog, ASPCA. Um, they see that the customer quality from that user, because they're your customer, they just placed an order, they have discretionary income, is so valuable that they reserve their best offers, Sarah, to your point, their best deals, the longest free trials, the you know, the $50 back if you purchase this, like all the best spiffs and deals they reserve for these types of offers. So there's huge value. They're not
Yeah,
just
and that is not an exaggeration because I did test it on the Hulu one. I did Google it and see if I could find that same deal, and it is, yeah, it's not out there. So
yeah,
that's a real true story right there.
there's value 100%.
Um, that was going to be my last question. That was like, what are some of the other brands that are actually shown in the advertisements? And we've mentioned HelloFresh, we've mentioned Hulu, Hilton Vacations, I think is on there too. Any other ones that are off the top of your head that we could share with the audience? Bath and Body Works, they're
Well,
there.
Bath and Body Works is a they're a merchant partner. So they don't,
Oh, right.
yeah,
Okay.
they display offers. They don't, because they would be a competitor to
Got it.
a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
your,
yeah.
yeah.
See, we think about this stuff. Okay. Fluent
Yeah.
just thought about these things. Let's give it
Yeah.
credit where it's due.
There's a lot of streaming partners, right? Music and video streaming as well. There are subscription clubs, there are discount clubs. There are some very good nonprofits as well, which we love to see, right? It's a good giving moment, it's a good donation moment. So we love to help these nonprofits out as well. Um, yeah, you know, I think I encourage people to place orders and discover
Yeah,
more
right.
offers.
Exactly. It's the best way.
Um,
Just keep refreshing that order tracking page.
yeah.
Sam, if people are interested right now in getting set up on Monetize, what's the best way they can do that? How should we instruct them to get you on the phone?
Oh man, we try and be so
We'll just put
accessible. I
your
mean,
phone number. We'll put your phone number, direct phone number right here.
text me, dox me,
Yeah.
why not? Yeah, no, it's really easy. You know, hit me up on LinkedIn. Go to our website. Obviously, it's very easy, and this will be in the show notes, I'm sure.
Yes.
Um, and if you, yeah, it's just like rebuy.com/monetize. If you go there, you're probably going to hear from me. If you're one of our existing merchants, you've probably already heard from me anyway, and if not, then you will shortly, I promise. But yeah, we're trying to be super available for folks on this because A, it's a mutually beneficial thing. B, that's my job and I really enjoy it. And C, I really like chatting with our merchants and getting feedback on all this stuff. So if we haven't chatted yet, or if you haven't chatted with Logan or Nick or somebody on the sales team, just get at us and we can talk about it. So
I love it. That's what we're doing this office hours every third Friday, every single month. We'll bring in some brands who are using Monetize to talk about their experience. We'll bring in other people from the Fluent and Rebuy teams. And hopefully we will just consistently answer everybody's questions until every Rebuy customer is signed up for Monetize, right? That's the goal.
yep, put me out of a job.
Okay,
Let's go.
exactly. Okay, dudes, thanks so much. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye.